And good morning, everyone. I'm Fury SK, and alongside me is Catastrophe 573. And this morning we have a matchup between Nochibato and Kingdahl in the 2020 Random Percent Tournament Winners Bracket Round 2. The runners have agreed, for sake of this series, to go with shapes as opposed to a random dungeon set. So we'll see what other flags we get along with those. I'm looking forward to an entertaining match here, Catastrophe.
Yes, me too. Um, I played my one match so far also with the 100% shapes layout. I think it's a lot of fun. It makes me happy that these runners also get to, you know, also chose it and that I get to watch it. So, yay. These random percent flags are very interesting. No matter how many watches or how many seeds I watch or how many seeds I play, I'm still learning about new interesting combinations that can come up. And boomerang and silvers, interesting. And only one Triforce piece, so we might have a longer seed ahead of us, but you never know. 0 HP enemies. Oh, I was about to say, what if we have 0 HP enemies and that wooden boomerang is just king? And sure enough, the first enemy Kingdahl kills is as a bomb dropper, no less. So that's basically the best thing that could happen. And another bomb dropper. Those are both global drop bombs. So given that we saw bombs drop from blue moblins and blue lionels, I think that means enemy drops are not shuffled.
Yeah, it's certainly looking that way to start, but it's a great seed to start with a boomerang of any color if you know that they're going to be 0 HP as you hit several different health regions. Given that the Lionels are usually not killable, even if they go +or -4, but already a dungeon on Kingdahl's side, starting way off on the left, one above the bottom row. So the one thing he should know is, regardless of what dungeon he happens to be in here, it's going to be a dungeon that can touch the bottom row. So that's one thing he has to figure out, is where is that going to happen.
That's right. Shapes will always touch the bottom row somewhere, because Fred does not assume that you have shuffle start screen on, in which case you have to enter from the bottom row. And that is one trick. Another trick you can do too is, if you look at the map, as you said, we started in the far left row. The map will always be centered. So that means that if you're starting on the far left, that the dungeon at least goes to column 7, if not 8. So we got a wide dungeon. Now, it doesn't have to be continuous. It could be, segmented with a connector. So, but at some point, something caused the center of the level to, be in the middle. So, probably not a small dungeon, but we don't know yet. Looks like Nokibato's digging the same dungeon.
Yeah, it's kind of a rare scenario in which you can go all the way to the first column and not go the other side. There's only a couple of circumstances, like sometimes it can get like off center where there's a glut of rooms, say on the 7th or 6th column, that kind of make up for it. But we already have a wand.
Now that's actually still very nice with 0 HP enemies, because the things that it doesn't kill, it's kind of like permanent sword beams in this flag set, but the wand itself, does white sword damage to most things. So what the boomerang can't kill, dark nuts, well, not whiz robes, but Pole's voice, you can now hit them with the wand, and they'll die as well. So with wand and boomerang, you almost don't need a sword if you got 0 HP enemies.
Yes, now the question is whether or not the bosses will also drop, since they are part of a different selection.
Yes. Boss HP is a different flag, and then Ganon's HP is yet another flag. So we'll see. Ooh, Kingdahl randomly bombing around towards the middle of the map. Interesting. Sometimes with shapes, those magic bomb walls can be hard to find. I feel like Kingdahl got a little lucky on that one. No, not a push block. Man, this should that. Given how many open doorways Kingdahl just showed us on his minimap, this is not one of the smaller levels they're in right now. That's for sure.
And it turns out we do not have 0 HP bosses, but it looks like he hit it only 6, or only for 3 hits. So if that's the case, it's not a full normal HP boss number. It's actually going to be just under. So maybe it's plus or minus 2 or plus or minus 4.
Yeah, no, you're right. We'll find out maybe at another boss. So yeah, that wand coming in handy right away because the boomerang obviously won't kill a Gleeok, so that's pretty lucky, I guess. The Gleeok wasn't blocking anything. Wow, so Nochibato explored an entirely different part of the dungeon than Kingdahl did. Kingdahl did the south center. Nochibato did the top left. Nochibato getting the wand from somewhere up there. This has got to be at least 6, if not 7 or 8. It's just we've already seen probably 20 rooms between the 2 runners. Of course, neither of them know that.
Yeah, I don't want to be too presumptuous yet, but if it's we have a couple of indicators that it could be 6 off the bat, and the neither one of them is 100%, of course, but the wand dropping is usually in vanilla first quest, it's in 6, and on top of that, the palette that we are in is kind of a yellow or a gold, depending on what kind of setup you're running on. So it's also potentially vanilla palettes if either of those ends up being true. But again,
oh yeah,
really early.
Good call there. I didn't think to check the palette because looking at Kingdahl's screen, I just thought it was shuffled. But you're right. I didn't think of how the palette looks on different setups. Nochibato's screen is what I'm used to looking at when I play. That's what level 6 looks like to me. So, yeah, because shuffled dungeon palettes may not be on. Yeah, so it looks like they started with only the Triforce in 8, so digging 8 wouldn't be great once you've got one of the items in it. I was thinking that in second quest, I think Book and Wander in 8. And this was getting to be a big dungeon, but I think you're right now. Given wand and that gold color, it's got to be 6, right? Maybe?
Yeah, my knowledge of 8 is first quest, I think, is Book and Key. It's Key and Rod in level 8 in second quest.
Oh, Key and Rod, right. Book is 4. Okay, yeah. Key and Rod, yes. 2 magical items, but not the magical book. Well, yeah. So, I think Kingdahl, is this where the wand was, or a connector? It's awfully far east. Yeah, it's a connector. Yes, silvers is lit in the tracker. The runner started with the silvers and the wooden boomerang. We don't know where they are yet. If either player does find the Triforce piece and it does light up level 6, that is a strong hint towards silvers being in 9 and wood boomerang being in 1. But, we'll see. I might look for just one more item before I call it, but I've seen very funny seeds, and it's always entertaining, in the audience to see bow is in 1, wooden boomerang is in 1, but then surprise heart shuffle is on and raft is in 1, and you're like, wait, game? I love it when that happens.
So an interesting drop location for that key that we saw in that room was in the bottom left. This could actually be the only dungeon they have a Triforce for suddenly, because I know in first quest that room exists in 8, but this dungeon is huge.
Oh, okay. So yeah. There was a mugger room. Interesting to get one of those out of. Interesting that he had the 80 rupees to pay that mugger rope. Well, I guess the dungeon is full of ropes. Oh, compass. Oh, but Triforce. Kingdahl finding the map, finding the Triforce, and it was not 8. It was 6. That's a ginormous 6. We saw the map on Kingdahl's screen. I didn't stop to count, but it was it vaguely looked like First Quest 7 in the sense that it was a giant mountain towering up into the right,
Yeah.
covering
Of
the
note
left
here,
column.
Nochi walked through a wall in level 6 to get down to the Triforce. He tried to bomb it and suddenly it sucked him in, so that is also on.
Oh, I don't think Kingdahl got that information. So, if false walls are on, does that mean that maybe second quest items? No, it has to be first quest items because it's shapes. So shapes, at least for Fred's logic, always means first quest, right? Unless
Correct.
second quest rooms and doors are on. So we couldn't have a second quest unshuffled item layout. I mean, clearly not now that Bond was in 6 anyway. But it was never even a possibility. So Boomstick Seed with unshuffled item prices. Yeah, Fred normally values the book at 200, but of course the candle's more important because with your start screen being in the forest, you want to check those quickly. Kingdahl, having paid that door repair in 6, isn't going to be able to afford that candle.
Actually, Kingdahl already just bought the candle, I think.
I meant to say Nochibato, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kingdahl just bought the candle. Nochibato paid the door repair in 6, and as a result, has to walk away from that 60 rupee candle. I don't think Kingdahl paid the door repair. They took a different path through 6, found the map, and then found the Triforce without finding the compass. So that saved them 50 rupees.
That candle is a huge deal too because Kingdahl just found a bonus cave and it's just potion and heart.
Oh wow, yeah. So that's an extra heart container for Kingdahl, and at the moment, that's still very relevant for the white sword item. Besides just making you a little tankier, always very appreciated when you have. Oh,
yeah, but there's not going to be any candle in any of the bonus caves. It won't be in the start cave. It's just going to be in the shop. So when Nochi runs into it here in a second, he's going to need 13 rupees. That's his only candle he can get other than red candle.
Did either player check? I don't think they've had a reason to yet. Check the coast item. Oh, Kingdahl doing a HUD clip on the secret spot. I love it. Looks like he might be going to the Lost Hills. Nope.
Yeah, if you have a really weird kind of screen with enemies jumping around like that, you like to avoid getting hit by them if possible, and that HUD saves you the potential to get hit. So it's one of the, if you're learning how to HUD clip, that is the one that's the easiest to learn to clip, where you normally go up to the 100 secret and walk up and around the overworld minimap and then do a screen wrap, and then you can kind of get in from there from the other side.
Yeah, and that secret spot, it doesn't technically have a ladder on it, so you can do that. That false wall leading to the secret is open. I never learned to read. I was about to bring that up on Nochibato's screen. We saw Nochibato find that same secret spot at vanilla level 5 and turn down the secrets, understandably, because they have to finance a candle. And Nochibato did find a take any, so they know they have to buy that candle. Kingdahl comes in with rupees, and the secrets were cheap, so Kingdahl buys one, and it was just a community hint. Now, what's interesting about that is those hints were not vanilla priced, Fury. So if they're not vanilla priced, doesn't that mean there was a chance for them to be helpful?
Yeah, and they may still be mixed, helpful, and community. We don't know yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is I think if you see any community hints at all, meaning in jokes and just other funny, irrelevant messages, that any hints you see are guaranteed to be truthful. If you see any, they could be 100% jokes or a combination of jokes and helpful, but never deceptive. So, I mean, I don't know if Kingdahl felt like spending the money or the time to check the other 2 hints. They would only be item hints anyway, and maybe he feels like, given that wand was in 6, he might already be thinking, all right, I'll dig 1, I'll dig 4, and nothing else.
Yeah, I think maybe. Uh, I know Kingdahl hasn't even seen the wand yet, so he's kind of a little bit behind the eight ball as far as getting the boomstick components and otherwise. But uh, we're gonna have to at least see one or two more dungeons before we can declare our items to be vanilla, and I think that's probably the approach I would take as a runner.
Yes. Oh yeah, same. I'm also waiting, but he might have been thinking, item knowledge doesn't appeal to me in this flag set. However, you make a good point there about the boomstick. First off, Nochibato found the wood sword in the vanilla cave. Ooh, that's a large secret that Nochibato can't use to finance a candle because it was under a candle spot. So far that's one large secret. I keep count. But yeah, that boomstick. It's interesting. When boomstick happens, the book moves into the shop and costs 200 rupees. These players have opted to play with shapes, and that could make the book a fantastic buy. Not even because of boomstick, even though Kingdahl has the wand, that would be wonderful. If the book is an atlas, we already know that we don't need the book to understand messages, but the book could still be an atlas, and atlas in shapes. Ooh, white sword is the white sword item, but you need 6 hearts to pick it up. Kingdahl finds it near level 1, also in a candle spot, so that early candle for Kingdahl really coming in handy there. Definitely paying off. And our Armos item has to be at the grave. We've checked the other 4 Armoses. Yeah, Kingdahl, I'm sure, would love to find a boomstick shop right now because boomstick is nice, and in the 50% chance that the book is also an atlas, then he just paid 200 rupees to get the solution to all the shapes before he even entered the dungeon, which is extremely powerful.
Yep. So the verdict's still out on whether or not we're mixed first or mixed second on our money scenario. But with the burn bushes that we've seen, the second quest 7 burn bush opened, but we have vanilla level 3 and level 5 locations confirming mixed. It's the verdict's still out, I guess, on whether or not we're actually going to have kind of more of a poverty seed where we can only access one large secret, and that would change your approach, I think, to the boomstick. Even if you really wanted it, you need to potentially afford meat, arrows, and some keys if you don't find them.
That's right. Yeah. We've seen one large secret so far. It was a burn bush near level 1. Just it's still kind of sort of in Candle Row, but not really. If we see a second one, that would confirm first quest. The sizes of the secrets were not shuffled, so. Oh, poor Nochibato. Nochibato's now exploring the dead woods without a candle. That's not fun. Oh, Kingdahl finds another level. This one's level 2 colored?
It's definitely level 2's color. We will see if it ends up being level 2's Triforce. I'm a little quicker with the pallets if they hit the right dungeon twice.
Yeah, so how about that level 2 item right there?
Yeah,
Kingdahl definitely.
It's definitely starting to point the direction of vanilla items, and of course he's not going to pick it up.
Something else we saw too is besides vanilla white sword. Okay, Nochibato took the white sword. Interesting. Okay, so that means Nochibato's candle. Wait. Oh, Kingdahl must have found the mags. I couldn't tell because it was a hockey stick. So that means that the mags are candle blocked near level 1, and Nochibato found the white sword at vanilla level 6. Okay. Well, we saw the coast item, and the coast item was a heart. So we've seen the white sword item is the white sword, and I guess that means items can't be shuffled. And that means that the Armos nearby probably has the power bracelet.
Yeah, we've definitely seen the power bracelet picked up now, but we had a seed, I think a couple of nights ago, maybe 3 or 4 nights ago, that the runners found like 5 or 6 hearts. I believe it was Blutta and Zarnex that raced, and They found 6 heart containers on the floor and none in any of the staircases until they looked in level 8 and level 9 and suddenly realized that heart shuffle was on. So ever since that race, I've been very, very, very skeptical of whether or not we have vanilla items, but this is certainly starting to push that way even more as we find what looks to be level 1, I want to say. His color of his palette's a little bit different than I'm used to, but this room might tell us. Is there something in that like?
Oh, yeah, there was. It was the wooden boomerang, so wooden boomerang confirmed for 1.
Yeah, alright, now we're starting to get to the point where I would assume we have vanilla set up.
I bet he digs the bow out of here because it shouldn't take too long, and especially with the map. And when you start with silvers, it's just a good weapon anyway. I mean, it costs money, but he's got money, and it could always be required, you know. So I've seen runners in other races. You know, in this situation, you still just want to grab the 8 Triforces as fast as you can and blitz 9. But I've seen runners still dig the bow in 1 just in case, because since silvers are probably in 9, or in this case, silvers are in your inventory, having the bow when you go into 9 will save you from, you know, a potentially expensive double dip that could cost you the race. Yeah, Kingdahl, they're doing a very nice block clip to dodge the Triforce and try to find... Do we have a Dig Dogger blocked bow? Did this seed get interesting? That Dig Dogger is blocking 2 other rooms in addition to itself. So... And you know what else is interesting too? Like, Kingdahl doesn't have any way to damage Wizrobes. He was bombing Wizrobes earlier.
Oh man, and a mugger in level 1. That's also quite unfortunate, but you can bomb out. It's just, you know, it saps a potential hint that could have told you whether or not we were on mixed or all community.
Yeah, that's right. Would that hint in level 1 always have been a... Ooh, Kingdahl has a wand, right? Yes. He can damage those Poles voices besides having to leave and re-enter.
Nope, he has no wand. He missed that...
Oh, jeez. Oh, I was confused this whole time. Okay, heart on the floor. All right. So far, so good. That means that the last item has to be in a staircase. Oh. All right, yep. Kingdahl digging that bow out. Definitely a good play.
Yeah, Minar Tracker Dark Falls has already just gone ahead and marked everything in its vanilla location because this is basically following with the first quest setup.
Yep.
To it.
So that means yeah, I was confused. Oh, do we have vanilla take any's? Or take any roads, that is. Yeah, Nochibato apparently got the power bracelet. I wasn't watching. I was watching level 1 a little too closely. I'm not sure where Nochibato has explored on the overworld, but I'm not sweating the Triforce difference at the moment because levels 1 and level 2 were close to each other on the overworld, and Nochibato has their candle now, so that's great. Oh, we're gonna have a high 5 in the green dungeon.
I think Kingdahl certainly has a small lead at this point, but it's going to become smaller as we find more bosses, given that Nochi has both the wand and the white sword. Additionally, the more Wizrobe dungeons we find, the better off Nochi's going to be because he won't have to spend his currently 0 bombs. He can instead use a sword, whereas Kingdahl is now actually he has his wood sword, so it improves his chances of killing Wizrobe now, but for the first couple of dungeons he cleared, he had to use all of his resources too.
So yeah, Kingdahl found the green dungeon, which is probably 7, right? Because at this point, we're going to agree with we've seen 3 pallets that match. If it is 7, Kingdahl knew he was 1 screen away from the Vanilla Woodsword spot, ducked out of 7, checked that screen, did the thing. Oh, Nochibato got a fast compass in this 7. Very nice.
Yeah.
See if
I
Kingdahl...
think it can be, it could be 5 too. 7 or 5.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah. We have 100% shapes, so... If it's 5, that recorder might matter. If it's 7, the red candle really no longer matters. Not with better combat options, but...
The winner's 7.
Alright. Oh, Kingdahl also gets the fast Triforce. It was kind of on the obvious path, I guess. Kingdahl checking for false walls in level 7. That won't happen, right? Or it will?
Well, he doesn't know that it's confirmed level 7. It could be level 5, in which case you could, in theory, have a walkthrough.
Now, Kingdahl here, going away from the Triforce, finds a bait block. Interesting. Kingdahl choosing to dig the green dungeon. Is this going to be wasted time, or is this going to be a very important recorder?
So the issue he had was he had 1 bomb when it came down to the bomb wall that Nochibato opened up, and he didn't want to burn it. I'm not sure if that's the only reason he's digging this. He could also be in the same boat as me, where he's not sure if this is 5, or Darkfall suggested he thinks it could even have been level 3 with this sprite, or this palette set.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Now I feel like the dungeon is large enough. Like, he's explored enough rooms that I'm feeling like maybe not 3. Especially given how big that 7 was, or 6 was. That 6 was huge. Oh, interesting. Is Nochibato in a different dungeon or the same dungeon?
Nochi's in 5.
We'd see, we would see the compass. So Nochi's in a different dungeon. I can remember that.
Blood River, so that's a telltale sign of which dungeon he's in. Even though we've actually got shuffled, so I guess not, but in some cases you could say, oh hey, I know exactly which one he's in based on the river color. But this color, of course, as soon as I said that, proves me wrong.
2 more heart containers as floor drops. But like you said, we'll see. The seed loves to do funny things where it looks unshuffled, but surprise, it was just a coincidence, and then you get it. Or the seed, the game. So, Nochibato is... Oh, yeah,
it's a Deadwoods dungeon.
Ooh, bomb wall. So here, normally shapes grow organically north. Fred puts a start room on the bottom row, which is why we have to assume there's a room on the bottom row, and then the shapes kind of grow northwards. So if you're ever confused in shapes, what you kind of want to do is try to go vertical. It's just more likely that that'll be the wall that opens up for you. Yikes! Nochibato just missing on 3 false wall checks and 3 bombs. Kingdahl gonna get this map of, oh yeah, that's definitely a 7. Given how much of the grid it takes up. So at this point, looking at that map, they know it's not a 5. I wonder why they don't just up A and grab that Triforce. I mean, they only have 1 bomb left, but... I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe they don't know it's red candle yet.
Nochi is continuing his progress without finding the Triforce 5, given that he couldn't find the right bomb wall, but he does find level 3, which should have his raft.
Interesting. Nochi has not found level 1 and 2 yet. That Goma was blocking 2 key doors, which is to say that Goma was not blocking anything. Kingdahl did cross a Goma block way in the deep part of level 7 that didn't matter. I was kind of cheering for something cool to appear over there for him, but no such luck. Nochi's being really cheap with their 5 keys, totally understandable. Gotta save everything you can for level 9. Ooh. Level 3, why would you do that? You're in column 7 and the Triforce is in column 2.
It's also worth noting that I think you want to conserve keys even more so if you think it's vanilla layout, because the one Triforce you have also happens to be the location of your magic.
Right, and you're not going to want to dig that dungeon if you can avoid it. Could be a huge time loss.
I don't
Magic
know
Key
about
is a
you.
really...
I don't know about you, Catastrophe, but if I go into a dungeon and it's got a gray layout, unless there's a couple of open doors right at the start, I probably just turn around and walk out.
Yup.
Maybe you would walk in, say if it's an open door, you go up and you see another open door and you go up and suddenly there's a staircase. You could get lucky and find something for free that's not too far into the dungeon. Could also just be the magic shield though.
That's right, yes, especially in a boomstick seed. But Kingdahl, right as we say that, Kingdahl makes the big play, buys that book. I can't wait to see if it gives Kingdahl free maps. I think Nochibato just happened to find the raft in the room right before the Triforce, so why not? They'll take it.
What's also a little bit interesting about that room was when he walked in, it's a single push block, and the map spawned just one tile to the right of that push block, so that gives you another flag that is turned on, and that is open staircases are pushed out of the game in a lot of scenarios now. You're only going to find a couple of open ones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have seen a diamond staircase in level 1, but you're right, we have not seen too many open stairs. They've been mostly removed. Mm-hmm. Good observation. I actually didn't pick up on that.
I think we've seen like one diamond staircase and one other right-handed staircase so far, and everything else has been a push block now that I'm thinking about. So I think both runners probably will figure that out on their way through 3. I'm sure Nochi now knows it's on, and Kingdahl is a good player, so he's going to go in there and say, oh, wow, that map's in a really weird spot that would never spawn unless that flag was on.
So I think Nochibato is, I was going to say, using this warp zone to go somewhere else. Let's see if they go back to the forest and maybe find levels 1 and 2. Don't know yet. This actually isn't as far out of the way as the Fairy Fountain warp spot is. Oh, they're checking the coast. They haven't checked the coast yet. I don't remember the overworld exactly. There's a lot to. Oh, okay. So that's our second large secret. So that explains how Kingdahl had the money to buy the book. So we got a first quest overworld and a fairly rich seed. Yep. Okay. Nochibato found level 1 on the coast. This is really good for Nochibato because they just got a large secret. If they do level 1 and 2 quick, just like Kingdahl did, they'll be right caught up. They'll have the Triforces out of 3 and 7 as well. No wand for their boomstick, and they're very unlikely to ever go back to 6 and get it. But oh no, that's Kingdahl's got the book. I did it again.
Yeah, each one has a component of the boomstick, but nobody has the full one. I think Nochi, though, with the 0 HP and all of his money and 5 keys, and he's going to be able to navigate this entire level 1 if he wants to without bringing a key and pick up another one. At 5 or 6 keys, I would consider boomstick a little bit more valuable in the Shapes 9.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Shapes 9 is pretty much, a giant square, but shapes absolutely matter. Especially when you're maybe looking for a staircase, you're looking for an isolated spot. It can save you dozens of bombs in a long 9. So Kingdahl did buy the book, and no free map. So it looks like that boomstick is just a boomstick. That's too bad. Would have been nice to see a $200 or 200 rupee atlas, but Kingdahl using the boomerang on that Landmolus, but didn't kill it. Used bombs instead.
He was really hopeful it would. He's walking around trying to get through a walkthrough wall, but he was He was hoping that it rolled down since he knew that the bosses were a potential roll up, roll down, and those Lambola could have potentially rolled down to 0. Unfortunately, not for.
So Kingdahl here found a bomb wall in the free heart container room that Nochibato did not find. Could this lead to that Triforce in 5 that Nochibato left behind? I think.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. He's.
Levels 1 and 2 were next to each other on the coast. That's where they were. That's why they were so fast. Levels 1 and 2 being on the coast. There's only a Triforce and a Magic Boomerang here. I'm pretty sure Nochibato knows what's going on. Kingdahl. Is he going to find maybe a recorder in this room? Oh. Now here comes the exciting thing, and I love saying this as an announcer every time. The possibilities for the recorder are various in random percent. They can take you to vanilla dungeon locations. They can take you to the new dungeon locations. They can take you to beaten or unbeaten dungeons. And if you combine those flags, there's a 25% chance that the recorder will take you to new unbeaten dungeons, which trivializes the overworld. Because, Kingdahl could blow the recorder, go to 7, blow the recorder, go to 3, blow the recorder, go to 4, And there's only a 25% chance of that powerful coincidence happening, but it's marvelous. I think he's testing it right now. No.
Did he dip out of level 3 as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think Kingdahl did not get the Triforce out of 3 or 5, but to be fair, those dungeons were no map, and they were just... It felt like every wall the players bumped into was just not given. So they... it looks like we have whistle to vanilla dungeon locations. That kind of counterfeits the raft a little bit. And there's nothing here anyway. Okay.
Well, the fact that it went to vanilla unbeaten dungeons actually helps Sedal out slightly because he does not have the ability to cross said river or said lake.
Yeah, that's why I said it kind of counterfeits Nochibato's raft a little bit because now that raft is only good for kind of one check, Oh, different hints. Is Kingdahl going to do it again? I never learned to read. Wait, he already bought that hint. Oh, no, that was Nochibato.
No, he bought
the
it.
same hint twice.
Yeah, he bought the same hint twice. He's probably looking at that. It's like, darn it, I've been swindled by myself.
Would have been funny if he had maybe purchased the the middle hint or something, and it turned out to be useful. I don't know. Get the recorder in level 5, some sort of hint like that. So Nochibato knows what level 5 is. Does not know how to get the Triforce out of it. Could be ladder blocked. They could be looking for 4 before 5. Looks like they're making the Galaxy Brain strat and assuming their raft is required. They haven't done Death Mountain yet. Okay, no, just the blue. Blue ring shop. I don't know if we've seen one of those yet. So the blue ring was raft blocked. Kingdahl finds 4 under the recorder. So wait, are you kidding me? You had to go to 5, get the recorder. Go to 4, get the ladder. And so you could get the Triforce out of 5 with the ladder? Oh, that's... Oh, no. This could let Kingdahl catch way up. Wow. That's incredible.
Oh, yeah, he's clearly in the lead now, even if he doesn't have the Triforce count, because that's the ultimate rope-a-dope of going back and forth.
So Nochibato doesn't know this, but levels 4 and 5 are blocking each other, apparently. You need the ladder in 4 to beat 5, and you need the recorder in 5 to open 4. So it's a forced double dip, like a double dip, except I think you can just do 4 on your first pass. But wow, that's mean. Yeah, I hope Nochibato doesn't do too many more overworld checks before going to level 5 and getting that recorder. Many runners know that the recorder is a powerful item in random percent, both for the reason I just gave, which Kingdahl tested, whistle to unbeaten dungeons, but Also because in a mixed overworld, it just opens so many spots. Besides digging bow and ladder, if you know where they are, recorder is also a very popular dig, and yeah, gave Kingdahl a huge advantage here.
Yeah, it looked like Nochi was going to go for the book purchase there for a second. And then he walked into the arrow below level 5 and didn't push that. So I'm wondering if he's maybe forgotten that that spot could have pushed, or if he's already pushed it once and I just missed it.
Yeah, we could maybe ask him after the race, you know, were you ever considering buying the book with this 222 rupees? Or, yeah, Nochibato is now digging Death Mountain. Kingdahl using the map to find that false wall. Definitely digging their ladder out of here. They know what's up.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain that we were ladder blocked for sure out of the Triforce, but we definitely did see a couple of different spots where there could have potentially been one. Speaking of potential ladder blocks.
So, ladder's not that way. But how vanilla? There's a false wall in 4 out of the Triforce room. That's something you see in the second quest. And it's an amazing troll put in by the vanilla developers. So level 4 in the second quest is a huge dungeon, and the dungeon item is the book. And at the very end of it all, you finally get your Triforce. But what the developers did was there's a false wall in the Triforce room that leads to another piece of level 4 where you get the raft. So mean. It's funny that this shape kind of did the same thing, except then there's also a ladder block, so we know our ladder's not there. Really hope Nochibato gets back to 5 soon. I mean, I don't blame them. You know, with so many Death Mountain checks left, you don't want to assume that level 4 is recorder blocked and that you left it in 5. It's almost not even a gamble. You know, I mean, it could be a gamble, but it's almost the odds that it wasn't recorder blocked, and yet here it is. All right, Kingdahl already has the Triforce in 4, just needs the Triforces out of levels 5, 7, and 3. They got their ladder, so it's gonna be a lot quicker now. I can't imagine anything could possibly stop them with a sword, a ladder, and a recorder. There's really nothing else besides keys could block them in a dungeon, and they got 6 of those.
So the question in chat is, how do we know where some of the items are in the sea that haven't been found by either side? And the answer is the game can generate with a vanilla item layout. So a 50-50 flag could be on or off. And in this case, it rolled that the vanilla items are all in their vanilla locations. So at this point, we can determine that the red ring and the silver arrows are not shuffled out of 9 and are in fact in their vanilla locations. So a little bit of an easier day for the tracker. Just has to make sure they see when stuff is picked up. Otherwise, it's all vanilla knowledge.
Most of the time you see people play Zelda 1 Randomizer, shuffle item locations will be on because we're playing a randomizer, right? We always shuffle the item locations, and we pretty much always do. But the gimmick for this tournament is random percent, where we don't know what flags the randomizer has turned on or not. And since every flag in the game, or almost every flag in the randomizer, is a coin flip, it's funny, but you can just have 50% vanilla as an option for pretty much anything. So when we see things kind of start to look vanilla, we assume that they are.
Okay, well, look at that forgotten spot.
Nice. Okay, well, that's one thing that's going right for Nochibato here. While exploring the full overworld instead of being where they need to be, they did at least find level 9. That's good. Kingdahl may be picking up this raft just in case level 9 is on the coast. They've already seen one of the 2 raft spots because of their sequence-breaking recorder, but, you know, the raft is right here. May as well pick it up. They don't know that the Triforce is one room to the left. They must have missed the compass, but lucky them. Oh, Nochibato's back in 5. Good.
Yeah, I think he explored a ton of the overworld at this point and has realized that he may have been swindled by the recorder. So, knowing where the vanilla location of the recorder is, he is on his way back to 5. We'll see if he has pulled this information in time to kind of get himself into 9 and get himself into the race again.
So, Nochibato looking for bomb walls. I don't remember. I mean, to be fair, this is why I think both players left 5 the first time. I don't think there's a map. I don't think there's even a compass. I think it's just a lucky bomb wall. Nochibato is out of bombs.
Yeah, this is quite unfortunate because he bombed right in that room, and that was his last bomb. So unless he finds a bomb dropper somewhere outside of this dungeon or otherwise, he's gonna have to, I guess, really hope he finds one. Wasn't there a room just south of start in this dungeon that had Gibdo that he could?
I think you're right. Nochibato maybe... Okay, well, this room is also full of bomb droppers, so you can at least... Oh, there we go. Alrighty. So Kingdahl took a connector over to column 6. Why is Kingdahl... Oh, trying to force bombs? I mean, if you have that many bombs... Oh, here's our map of 5. Oh! Okay, don't take the connector. Oh, what game is it? That looks like something I've seen. I think it's Starbound or something, the Protectorate logo. It's very close. It's kind of funny. Asteroid. Very unusual symmetric shape there. And look what the randomizer did. Fred's randomizer started on the bottom row, right? Put one room off to the side.
Alright, so here's kind of the game is, oh no, he bombed left. He didn't bomb up. Oh, now he's got to get more bomb.
Gonna keep taking longer. Now the good news is that Nochibato, when they get to 4, the Triforce in 4 was right in front of your face, right in front of the door. And when Nochibato gets in the 4, they're going to pick up that Triforce and run. They may not even dig the ladder. So that will get them going faster. It could also get them into 9 without a ladder, and that might be a required ladder in 9. That's always a little nerve-wracking as a player. Kingdahl is now digging keys. No, you need the Triforce. There you go. He just grabs the Triforce. I'm like, no, you take the Triforce and run, man.
I think he was just thinking about what dungeon he was in again, because these green dungeons are so close together in their color layout. He was like, wait, am I in 5 or am I in 7? Which one am I?
Oh, yeah, true. I would have thought he would remember that it was the one he got the recorder from, but you're right. You know, when you're a racer, I've made mistakes like that. Just when you have to play the game and think at the same time, it's harder, and sometimes you notice different things. All right, Nochibato finds the magic bomb wall to progress in 5, and then finds the Dodongo bomb farm. So that should be the end of their bomb troubles temporarily. Now, Kingdahl got that compass in 7 that they missed the first time. Whoops. Nochibato feeding the Dodongo, but then getting a room drop anyway.
Alright, great. He's going through this key door. I was really concerned he was going to go right, but this is the room he has to find.
Good memory there. Good memory there, Fury. Yeah, so it's a good thing he checked that key door, because if he had done the rest of 5 without getting this recorder, it would have taken even longer. We'll see if he sticks around to get the Triforce first try. That would definitely help speed things up.
And what's also kind of fortunate is the location of level 5 is near recorder spots. One kind of going to the dead end spot, recorder lake, which is in this case the correct answer, and then grave spots. So I think progressively, as long as he does not flute to level 5 or level 4, he's going to be on the right path. Just depends on whether this is one of the situations where you don't want to test the flute, because that's going to actually send him away to the raft spot.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like he might be testing. Oh, Kingdahl does pull the mags. Very nice. So Kingdahl does not know where level 9 is. It's in the Forgotten spot. It's coincidentally one of the next overworld spots they're going to check. Oh, Kingdahl is going to find 9 right away. Nochibato does test the recorder. They see it took them to an unbeaten level 4, but not the right level 4. So, as a result, they just got taken a couple screens away. They're now going to probably go test that recorder somewhere else.
Yeah, there's a spot over here to the east, but it's unfortunate that it's actually going to cost him at least a minute, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how many he checks over here.
Before getting back to the... Oh! Almost got sniped by the whirlwind. So Kingdahl here in 9. Chat, I can't hear the game audio, so if you hear the roar of Ganon, let me know what you think Ganon is. But in the meantime, Kingdahl is just going to keep running through 9, potentially looking for single shutter doors, which could lead to Zelda, but also just checking for open rooms. Oh my goodness, this could be over quick. Compass, Zelda is right there. Oh no, what's going on? Was it a required Ganon? I mean, we got the bow and silvers anyway, so this... Okay, we have... Ooh, okay. So that's what the map is for. So Zelda's room is only accessible from 2 directions, which honestly, maybe Zelda's room is only accessible from 1 direction. There is a flag for move Zelda out of her room, which if you get the 50% vanilla roll, then what happens is you get silvers. Yeah, you already have those. Okay, Kingdahl takes the 3 heart reset. I'm sometimes a little hesitant to do that in level 9 because now you've got green tunic and 3 hearts. Nochibato picks up a letter from Recorder Lake. Wrong Recorder Lake, unfortunately. Poor Nochibato. Well, they did go to Recorder Lake Fury. It was just the wrong one.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but the real fortune here is Kingdahl used his last bomb and got more bombs. He could have gone literally the entire 9 with nothing deciding to drop him any bombs, so he's quite fortunate now to be back up to 2. Hopefully he does not let himself get to 0 bombs again and continue to farm them up before that happens.
So, looks like Nochibato now is heading to the Lost Woods. Nope, take it back. Something else I was going to say about Kingdahl's screen. I forget it. Oh, they're getting really close to Zelda's room now. This could be the moment of truth. Was that ladder required?
Well, it's hard to say. There's a room to the right as well, but
Zelda's
looks like we are... It looks like Nochi finds level 4 just as Kingdahl finishes up the seed and has also decided to throw in the towel.
Yeah, are both racers... Let me check the schedule real quick, but do you know if both racers are playing a doubleheader right now? Or are they playing it another day?
I think they're at the same time either tomorrow or Friday is their game 2. I think we'll take a look at the schedule, but I think it's just one today.
Yeah, sometimes if there's a double header, you forfeit game 1 just to get game 2 underway. But I guess that's not happening today. GG Kingdahl. Taking that recorder out of 5 the first time was the entire difference, and that won him the race.
Yep, game 2 is scheduled same time again tomorrow, and then Saturday for the game 3 if necessary.
Are you in the race room? Are either player going to do an interview?
I know not Nochibato is going to jump in for sure, and I'm sure Kingdahl is just kind of getting himself situated. He usually jumps in to talk.
So yeah, look at Nochibato's inventory there. Recorder, every item except the bait on the inventory, but then no ladder, no red ring, no top row items besides the raft and power bracelet, which were not very useful this seed. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Is this Kingdahl or Nochibato?
This is the hockey player.
The hockey player. Congrats on winning the seed, and congrats on your magical hockey stick. Nice pickup.
Yeah, that's the first time I've gotten it, and it's a 0 HP, so it didn't really matter because I didn't even find Ganon. So.
Yeah, but it's the principle of the thing. You know, you got it. Congrats. Oh, and we're also joined by Nochibato. Welcome, and GG.
I was looking for an invite. I forgot where to go.
Oh, yeah. Right in the home channel. From the commentators booth, you guys were fairly close. You know, Kingdahl did levels 1 and 2 before Nochibato did. You know, you both dug the bow. Wasn't too much of a difference between you two, except for one thing. Kingdahl got the recorder in 5 on the first trip, and then went straight to 4. And Nochibato had to double dip 5 for the recorder, and found 4 right as Kingdahl found Zelda. But if it weren't for that decision, you guys would have been a minute apart the entire 50-minute race. Extremely close.
I mean, with these kind of flags and 0 HP and item vanilla, it's gonna be close because it's a race. It's just gotta find out what level you're in, and if it has anything good, you get it, and if you don't, you leave. And then the only thing was if that level 7 was 7 or 8. That was the only thing I was wondering. But and then I saw the Triforce flashing. Okay.
Oh yeah, when you found the compass, yeah, that's a good way to tell, because you knew you started with 8. Because in shapes, you can be certain about the Triforce numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought I was in 8 at 6 there, the first 10 minutes of the race.
Fury and I were discussing that too. It had the gold palette of 6, and there was a chance it wasn't shuffled. And you didn't know this, Kingdahl, but on Nochibato's screen, Nochibato found the wand in 6, which is also pretty good in a 0 HP enemy seed. So then we were kind of wondering if it was 8 or 6. I was thinking 8 just because of the size, but no, it turned out to just be a very beefy 6, very large 6.
I mean, you take the Triforce there and you hope it's 6, and it was, because if it was 8, it was 5 minutes in the trash can.
Yup, that's right. You only started with 1 Triforce, and that could have been it. And, you know, actually, Nochibato getting the wand out of 6, it actually gave Nochibato maybe a little bit of an early lead, as much as either of you ever really had much of a lead, because that wand gave Nochibato a way to damage Pole's Voice and damage Dark Nuts, and just made combat more fun than with the wooden boomerang. I mean, 0 HP enemies with a wooden boomerang is pretty fun too.
Yeah, the only Pole's Voice I had, I managed to respawn them away. But I might have had the bow also, then I realized probably after.
But, you did get that bow first, which was also very fortunate. Because in starting with the, silver arrows, I turned on immediately.
Yeah, so I never saw a Pole's Voice when I couldn't kill it anyway. So that wand was not really useful.
It's funny, so you didn't have the wand, and you were very unlikely to go back to 6 and get it. But you bought the book, so I assume you were hoping it was shapes maps, right? Which would have been extremely powerful.
Yeah, I mean, with the shapes and all the money that was out there, and then there was nothing else to buy when you have the arrows. I thought I might as well buy it, but I don't even know if it was. It was so late, also.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it was just a boomstick. And it's funny, you had the book and Nochibato had the wand, but neither player completed the boomstick. And in your case, unfortunately, it wasn't an Atlas today. But yeah, Nochibato, you had a lot of money. Were you ever considering going out of your way to buy the book, especially because you had the wand?
I knew there were probably 2 shops left that had the book in it, so I was just hoping to come across one of them.
Makes sense. Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, yeah, boomstick would have been fun even with 0 HP enemies. It would have made that level 5 a lot faster for you, because you had to leave level 5 and then use the entrance to level 3 to farm bombs a couple times.
That was the last place I had, and otherwise I was going to be completely lost on where to go.
Yeah, you dug Death Mountain. Kingdahl didn't. You actually had a small Triforce lead, I think, due to doing level 7 in 1 dig, whereas Kingdahl did it in 2 digs. But unfortunately, that level 5 recorder, and then you doing the rest of the overworld before finding level 4 gave all the time back, and that's what Kingdahl needed to win.
I realized as I left level 3 that it's like I should have checked recorder like first, and I didn't, and because it was recorder to unbeaten dungeons, and that just took me on a raft spot.
Yep.
Yeah, I think what benefited Kingdahl actually is that he had to double dip level 7 because he went to 2 on the recorder. It took him to like 5 and 4 because he hadn't finished 5 before he didn't get the Triforce out of there. And then he also hadn't finished 7, so it took him straight to Recorder Lake. He's like, okay, well, I'll check this now. And that's the point where suddenly it went from Nochibato being a Triforce or 2 ahead, and with the small lead to, oh man, we don't even know if the Triforce in 5 was ladder blocked yet, which it ended up not being. But if it's a double dip of both, that's going to be a really tough angle for Nochi to figure out. And Kingdahl's definitely swung in the lead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Kingdahl, you used the recorder to get to 4. Oh, that's funny. So Nochibato actually getting that Triforce out of 7 actually kind of hurt? You would never expect that. That's so weird. But wow.
I didn't know what I was doing with the recorder. I bought the same hint twice also. I don't know what. I thought I was at 6, but I thought it was a different shop, but it was the same at the old 5. I don't even know what the hints, but what they were, but if they were mixed or I didn't see a single hint, so maybe it was only community.
I think the hints had to be mixed, helpful, and community, because if the hints were straight community, Fred does not shuffle the hint prices. So because the hint prices were 37, 27, 17, some weird numbers, there had to be a chance that they were helpful.
I didn't see a single hint in any level either. I didn't see very many old men either. I don't know.
Yeah, thinking about it, we saw a mugger, we saw a wizrobe that seemed like he was extremely hungry. I don't know that we really saw a lot of hints. I think I may have seen one in a dungeon, and it was community. So it's really, the verdict's still out on whether or not we had any helpful hints anywhere, or if it was just straight community nonsense and shenanigans. But yeah, this is a lot closer than it probably felt like for Nochibato, because the compass, I think, was, Kingdahl can correct me, but I think it was only like 4 rooms up in the corner of a staircase room, and she was free, so it was literally just a 2 or 3 minute 9 as long as you found 1 or 2 walk-through walls and 1 or 2 bomb walls.
Yeah, Kingdahl took kind of the obvious path through 9. Start by going north, because you always take rooms north in 9. And the map and compass came relatively early in 9, as long as you took the open doors, conserved your keys. And so that 9 would have been quick. And also, Nochibato, you didn't know this because, you forfeited right in the entrance of level 4, but the Triforce in 4 is right inside the doorway. Like, you go 1 or 2 rooms in, and the Triforce is free on the floor. And level 4 has this odd vertical linear shape. Kingdahl at the time was looking for the ladder. Now, Kingdahl did dig the ladder out of 4 and used it in level 9. That might have been required. It might not have been. We don't really know. But if you had just grabbed the Triforce 1 or 2 rooms in for level 4, you already found level 9, Nochibato, because you were looking for level 4 everywhere except for where it turned out to be. You run straight to level 9. You go up in 9, you get your map and compass. You would have sub-houred this seed too.
Yeah, I felt like I had to go and get the ladder since a huge part of 4 was ladder blocked, so I knew it wasn't down. There was like 2 rooms left, and if you can get the ladder in like 30, 40 seconds, I think you have to get.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Nochibato, if you didn't see the dot done from Kingdahl and you were still playing, would you have dug that ladder out of 4?
Probably not, because I already knew where 9 was, and it would have been my last Triforce. But when I entered 4 as he got done, I didn't know if it was 4 or 8. So I wasn't going to dig the dungeon and then go on to not, and then maybe have to find another one. So I just thought I'd forfeit now, save everybody the trouble.
Understandable, yeah.
I had the map early, so I saw it wasn't 8.
Yeah, in this specific case, the pallets were the way to go to figure out where you were, because once you found the first 3 dungeons in the Triforces, they all matched their vanilla pallets, and we did. I think Sis Crusher threw up a really nice little picture in the Discord that shows you where the vanilla drop locations are and shows you the pallets of first and second quest layout. So if you have a chance, you may want to look at that. I know I've got it on like a quick call up on my web browser, so I can take a look at that and make sure I've got my palette colors and my drop rooms figured out for key drops if they didn't swap around.
I wasn't 100% sure that was even a thing in shapes, so I wouldn't have relied on that anyways. Not in this race.
Yeah, in shapes, it's first quest
logic, I guess.
Understanding, logic. But that'll help. I think it'll help both of you in the second race if it does the same thing again. If you see a blue, like a bright blue almost, level 2, it's going to very likely be the vanilla
level 2
palette.
with the magic boomerang again. And because
you may not have a magic boomerang if that shuffles, but that blue is a very rare color for the randomizer itself to spit out. It spits out a different blue usually than that one.
Mm-hmm. And if we have, Fury, do you know, if we have vanilla palettes, is it possible to have all vanilla palettes but shuffled? Or if the randomizer shuffles the palettes, will it insert its own, community palettes, I guess?
Well, we're going to add, I think, some community palettes the next time Fred makes a significant update to the randomizer. I know he's got several projects he works on, and I think we're coming around the rotation again where he gets the itch and does some work on it. But for now, it's just if it's vanilla palettes, they cannot shuffle between their dungeons. They stay vanilla entirely. So it's either random colors or vanilla layout.
Yeah, so if you see some crazy magenta dungeon, then that means, all bets for dungeon colors are off, even if level 3 looks kind of greenish. But yeah, once you start seeing some, familiar goldenish level 4, goldenish level 6, you gotta,
Hopefully we get the numbers second race.
Yeah, you know what? Besides, I really like that you guys chose 100% shapes for your match, but the other really popular Loser's Remorse flag is please show me the dungeon numbers, 100% show me the dungeon numbers is the other popular remorse flag, definitely.
I decided to go with an atlas instead, just because if I had known where the rooms were, I would have found that recorder a lot earlier.
Yeah. You placed all your bombs in all the wrong spots, unfortunately, and then just had to go, dig more. Wisely using the entrance room of level 3 to respawn those moblins, so you could, but unfortunately, that just took all the time. If you watch this one back, Nochibato, you'll see, you maybe had a lead, but you spent, overall, if we were to put splits on this race, your recorder split was like basically the entire loss, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Looks like we're probably going to wrap up here shortly. Any final thoughts from either the runner, or do we know what we're going to play with in Game 2? I think there was a talk of the Loser's Remorse staying intact, so I'm interested to see what you pick.
Atlas. 100% Atlas.
Ooh, exciting. I like it.
Gotta find a book then.
And that means shapes will be off or, randomized. So you could have Atlas for vanilla shapes. We don't know.
It's going to be shapes every race.
Oh, it is. So you. Oh, okay. That's how that works.
We've agreed on shapes for this series.
Oh, okay. So you can do both losers remorse and shapes. Oh, okay.
Apparently.
So well, yeah, that makes book awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that. That'll be tomorrow, also at 12 Eastern.
Yep, tomorrow at 12 Eastern. But for now, we are in the process of raiding out of this channel and going to Speed Gaming, who has a Final Fantasy randomizer. So, gonna do some quick thanks before it wraps. Thank you to Catastrophe573 for calling it with me. Thanks to Dark Falls, who had to run off to his job real quick there at the end for tracking. Thanks to CD Improv for restreaming. Thanks to both runners for putting on an amazing show. I'm Furious K, and so long for now, but man, we'll probably see you again here with another 14 or 15 races left today.